Hello and welcome back. Hello Subhash.
Hi, Jan.
So we are here again with another IELTS video. What are we doing today?
We're doing with Introduction, Section 1, IELTS Speaking.
Okay, so it's speaking today.
Yes, it is.
All right. So we're going to discuss the part 1 introduction.
Yes, 5 mandatory questions.
Okay, so let's get started.
Langfort International Academy. Your passport to the world of opportunities.
So Subhash, in the introductory part, that is speaking part 1,
Yes.
we have 5 common questions.
Right.
So can you just tell me how I can address the first question? What is your name?
Question number 1, what is your name? In this question, you are required to give out your complete name as per the passport, and you are also supposed to give the permission to the examiner to address you by the first name. Okay. You do not really have to wait for question number 2, how may I address you?
Okay, so I can just go on with it.
Yes.
All right.
It is customary in the English-speaking countries when you introduce yourself first time to someone, you give the permission to the listener to address you by the first name. Okay. It is customary.
All right, so moving on to the second question, that is, what should I say when I'm asked to, for the ID proof?
There are 2 versions of it. The Indian version is you take out the passport and give it to the examiner, say, here it is. But then if you want to stick to the native English style of speaking, you should of course say, of course, here you are. But it may not be that easy for the Indian test takers to fluently say that. But it's okay, you can even stick to here it is.
So that means I should say something rather than being silent when
You have to be responsive, you
Right.
have to be interactive.
Okay.
They're testing your communication skills. So you have to respond to each question or each statement that the examiner makes.
All right, okay. So that's taking me to question number 3,
Right.
which is, where do you come from?
Yes, this question has to be paraphrased when you respond to it. You don't say I come from, you should say I hail from or I belong to. Then you say most of the people take the test in a nearby test center from their home. So you would say I belong to a neighboring town called so and so, which is situated around 20 kilometers from this place. You have to connect your hometown with
The map. Right.
Accurately.
Yeah, so that would be the best way of answering that question.
Yes.
Right. Now, the very common question, describe your hometown.
Yes. I would consider 4 major points of discussions here. Most of the students go with a very traditional response which says, my hometown is a beautiful place with a lot of facilities.
Right.
Most of the places are beautiful
Of
and
course.
every place has facilities. So you have to be very specific. Even if you put the name of your hometown on the internet, let's say Google it, on the top, what you get first is the area, how big it is. It is as big as 10 football fields. Or you say, how many square kilometers? Let's say my hometown is situated in around 20 square kilometers. That would be a proper response. And then point number 2 is the population.
Right.
You can say my hometown is home to around 100,000 people. So, when it comes to lakhs,
Right.
native English speakers do not say lakhs.
Okay.
They say 100,000,
1,000.
200,000, and when it comes to 5 lakhs, it will be 500,000.
500,000. So
Yes.
is it a problem if I say lakh?
Not at all, but then try to be more native English. You have to be using English the way they use it.
Right.
Native English speakers use it.
Yes, and then of course the source of income would be the next point.
That is the next point of discussion. And then you come to the facilities. The point number 4 is the facilities part. So then you say we have a number of primary, secondary, and tertiary educational institutions.
Right.
We have healthcare facilities like a primary and secondary health center and a hospital, and other entertainment facilities. We have a shopping mall, a number of multiplexes, theaters, movie theaters.
Do we have to list them or just put it in a general?
Yeah, just generalize them,
Yeah,
categorize them, generalize them. Yes.
So probably that question needs a little more of
Yes, describing your
describing.
hometown requires a little detailed discussion.
Right.
4 different points of arguments you're
Right.
supposed to give.
Okay, so that's taking me to the last question
Yes.
in the introductory part,
Right.
where you will be asked, are you a student or are you working?
Very well. Now, there are two responses. Most of the students that appear for the test are the people who have completed their senior secondary.
Right.
So you could start with saying, I recently appeared for my senior secondary examinations and I intended to enroll myself for a 3-year graduate degree program abroad. That's a suitable response.
Right.
And for those who are employed,
Right.
you can say, I am currently employed. I have been working as a software engineer in this local firm for about these many years. Whenever you want to give out the duration of your service, you would say these many years. Or if you want to state when you started, you would say since 2018.
So,
it has to be present perfect continuous tense.
Right.
Because you started this in the past and you still continue to do.
Right, and so you would use for and since to show the duration, right?
Yeah.
All right, so at this point I have a small question. What if I am a person who worked, did work, have experience, but right now I don't?
Right.
How am I going to answer that question?
You would state that I have worked as a nurse in a local firm for these many years.
Right.
It will be present perfect tense. It will not be present perfect continuous tense.
Right.
And then, yeah, that's it. Present perfect tense.
Okay, all right, so probably that would be a better way to answer the question.
Absolutely. It has to
According
be
to-
this tense. It has to be
Right.
present perfect tense.
So these are the 5 questions, the introductory questions.
Yes.
And the test, the part 1 doesn't end here.
Now, here is, this is where the line of questioning changes. Once you say that you're a student, the questions will be about your studies. Now, when you say that you are a professional, then the questions will be about your work.
So there would be more questions regarding that.
A
and
number of
probably part 1 is 3 to 4 minutes.
Yes, there'll be, these questions will be followed by 1 or 2 more topics,
Right.
typically based on your own personal experiences.
But these 5 questions are common questions
They are
to
common.
every test taker.
Yes, everybody will be asked these questions.
All right, so here we go. What we would like to recommend here is try to stick to the responses that we have discussed.
Yes.
And rather than going into the traditional answers,
Of course, yes.
what we mean is to work on it rather than memorizing it.
Yeah, of
right?
course.
And come up with similar responses. Do remember you have to speak fluently, clearly, and accurately, and also
Audibly.
So we leave you here. We will be coming back with more videos on IELTS speaking. Till then, stay tuned, and it's goodbye from Team Langfort.